TEJ. This is a video that shows how to start simulating Arduino in Tinkercad. For some of you, this is a review, and others, this is the first time you're seeing it. So in Tinkercad, I've already started a new circuit. I'm going to call this Arduino test. And if we scroll down, we can see that there's an Arduino Uno. The R3 just means revision 3. Just any Arduino Uno is fine, so we're going to click on it and then bring it in there. And all we want to do is get an LED working. That's what we're going to end up doing. And we're going to be writing the code to do it. So let's get a breadboard so we can put all of our components on there, because we are going to need an LED and a resistor, and it might be difficult to do that without a breadboard. So I'm going to get a breadboard in there. And if not everything is fitting, you can click on this button in the top left, zoom to fit, and it will fit everything. You can also use your scroll wheel to zoom in and out in Tinkercad, because there wasn't enough space before. But now it seems to be fine. So we'll get an LED, and we'll place it somewhere in the middle of the board. And remember, the resistor should go upstream of the LED, meaning that the current should flow through the resistor first, then into the longer leg or the anode of the LED. So what do we want to do next? We want to set this up so it goes to a certain pin. And we can select really any pin we want, but I'm just going to ask you to stay away from pin number 0 or pin 1, where it says TX and RX. That's transmission and receiving. For some reason, using those pins can sometimes mess some things up. So we're going to get, and I'm just looking at the way I did this resistor. We want it in the positive bus. That's probably better. It doesn't really matter. It's really just a label, but it's best to keep things consistent. So now we're going to have, let's use pin number 7. So I'm going to drag from pin number 7, the digital output of the Arduino, into the positive bus. And I'm going to move this LED up. And I'm going to use the buses, even though you don't have to at this stage because we only have a couple of components. I'm going to do it anyway. And then, so we're going to have ground, from ground here, going up to ground of the Arduino, of the breadboard. So let's see what we have. We have coming out of pin 7. If we set pin 7 to be output, and then we're going to go through the resistor, through the longer leg of the LED, down here, through the negative bus or the ground, and into the ground of the Arduino. So that's a completed circuit. Now we'll look at how to program that. So you're going to click on code, and you can use code blocks. We're in grade 12, or grade 11. I'd rather use text. Are you sure? Yes. So pin mode, it's set up for 13 right now. We're going to set it up for 7. So each program is set up with 2 methods or 2 functions, the setup method and the loop method. So the setup method is something that is run at the start of the program, as soon as you start your simulation. Now the loop method continues to run throughout as long as the Arduino is on. Okay, so in the setup, we're saying pin mode 7, set it for output. The other option is input that we'll be using, but we want it for output so we can show our LED. The digital write on pin 7, we want it to be high. The delay is in milliseconds, as you can see. I'm just going to change everything to pin 7 here and start it. And as you can see, the LED comes on and off. If you want it to be brighter, I don't know if it's going to simulate this, but you could change the resistor value. Right now it's 1 kilo ohm. I'm going to change it to 100 ohms, see if that makes it any brighter. It seems to be a bit brighter. And why don't we add another LED into another into 6. Okay, now we've got an issue here because 7 is powering the entire bus. So if we're going to add something new, we'll have to change that a bit. So instead of having it power the entire bus, we're going to do this. We're going to have, I'm going to flip this resistor around, this LED around. So I'm going to flip it so that the leg is going the other way. I wonder if we can do that. It's going to be like that. So there we go. So the LED is flipped around. I'm going to drag this and put it so that it goes into here. And if we just move the breadboard around, we should be able to get it somewhat parallel. So not the nicest looking thing, but it is going from 7 into the resistor and then into the correct anode leg, longer leg of the LED. So now my plan is to use pin 6 like this. So we're going to have pin 6 going over here. You might notice this isn't completely parallel. That's probably better. And this is good though, because we have a common ground. It will save us some time in the long run. So now we're going to go back to blocking off that code. We want another LED after our new resistor. So we're going to get a resistor hopping over like that, LED, and then finally this one going to ground. Now the ground is in common. I want you to notice that. In fact, I'm going to color code these all black. These wires saying that they're going to ground. There's another one that's black, and we're going to make this, you can leave it green or red. Red is more traditional, but doesn't really matter. So now you can see there is current coming out of 6 and 7, and they're going to different resistors, feeding into different LEDs. I'll make this one blue. And right now, because we've only coded the one, only one's going to go on, but let's see if you can maybe pause this video and get the code working for the second LED. All right, so pause your video and then come back when you've got it, or at least when you've tried it. Okay, we're back. So at this point, you've tried to get it working, or you have got it working, and we want to get pin mode. So we have to set up our pin. So pin mode 8 for output as well. And we have our digital write. I'm going to do something interesting. I have the lights going alternating. So when one's high, the other one's going to be low. So digital write 8 low. Digital write. And then there's going to be a delay, and then digital write 8 high. I think those are the only 2 lines of code you need to 3 lines of code you have to add. Blue LED. Blue LED. It's good to, oh, and you know what? For comments, it's 2 forward slashes. Used to programming in Python. So 2 forward slashes. So wherever you see blue LED, those are the lines that I just added, and they will allow the blue LED to go on. So now it's alternating, and there's an issue somewhere. I'm going to pause for a second, and then when I fix it, I'll come back. So it's not 8, it's 6. And we could either fix that by dragging this over to 8 or just changing pin to 6. So it has to match up with the correct number. Sometimes when I'm talking and doing something, my brain doesn't do the right thing. Okay. There we go. So we've got our 2 flashing LEDs alternating. And that's the end of this video.